I am a child psychiatrist and there is something very off about the kid I am treating. Submitted by Long Story Short. To say Ethan was the smartest 12-year-old I've ever met would be an understatement. According to his school records, his first stroke of genius hit around the time he was in second grade when he multiplied three-digit numbers in his head while the other kids were just learning to add using their fingers. He has always been fascinated by mathematics, particularly probability, which wasn't even covered in the syllabus yet. His teacher immediately requested Ethan's parents to consider him skipping a few grades, maybe even take a few tests to see if he was a genius. The Joneses were against that idea completely, they just thought it would be too much work in their already hectic life. However, the absolute lack of attention or love from Ethan's parents isn't the reason why he is in my office every day at 4 p.m. sharply. Frankly, I don't think that bothers him. He's not all too popular in school either, considering no kids wants to be friends with a know-it-all that could predict the outcome of Monopoly with the help of some probability. That's not what we're addressing here either. Ethan has been sent to me because he was the only one present at the crime scene when his 19-year-old babysitter Kristen was brutally murdered by the serial killer who had escaped from jail a couple of weeks ago and was on a killing spree. Well, he wasn't exactly a witness because while Kristen's head was being badgered with a hammer, Ethan was too busy counting the tiles on the bathroom floor. It was unfortunate really, but fate would have it that Kristen met the pattern of this rogue killer's previous victims. The Joneses returned home to a bloody corpse in the middle of their living room, and their young boy seated on a chair in the dining hall, playing on his iPad. It was Mrs. Jones that believed her son required a psychiatrist, given God knows what he might have witnessed that evening. She wanted to ensure if he was still normal. My sessions with Ethan haven't really been all that fruitful. I tried to keep the conversation going many times, but all I'd get in return were a few shrugs and maybe a half-hearted yay now and then. Today, however, I decided to dive right in and talk about that gruesome evening. It was a dark time for the entire town, you know, I spoke. The police didn't see it coming, nobody did. What were the chances? I did. A voice. A sentence. That was a breakthrough for me. What's that? I had seen the man come to her house and stare every evening for a week, Ethan spoke. Who? I pressed. The bad man who killed Kristen. I would see him from the bedroom window, I knew the police were looking, I saw the news, and I knew he was going to do something bad. I also knew he would have done it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday because that's when mom and dad don't come home for a long time. Ethan continued. The chances were 2 out of 7. I felt a chill go down my spine. It was peculiar to see a child talk about such an event with not even a hint of remorse. Why, I began, why didn't you say anything, you could have saved her life. Kristen never liked when I spoke about math, she called it weird, Ethan replied. Besides, I wanted to see if I was right. Don't go outside. That's all they've told us, just don't go outside. I don't know what's going on but, I know it isn't good. My name is Avery, I'm from Canada, and I just turned 17 last week. I'm writing down what's been happening, so maybe someone can help. 14 minutes ago, I got this text from an unknown number. Warning, do not look outside or go outside at all costs. I repeat, do not go outside at all costs. I thought it was a prank till it came up on the TV as well. I don't know what to do. Update, it's been an hour, and I just got a flood of texts all saying the same thing. Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? They are still coming, from everyone. Friends, family, people I haven't even met. I know something is wrong, but I don't have any more information. I'm tempted to look outside, but I shouldn't, this is not normal. Please tell me someone else is having this? I don't know what to do, and I know I keep saying that, but I truly don't. The texts are still coming, my notification bar is flooded with them. They are all the same. Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? I hope one of them is just different, but I know there isn't one. Is this a dream? It feels like one. I'm going to text everyone, see if anyone knows what's going on. Please, wish me luck. Someone replied. More exactly, everyone replied. I sent them all this. I won't look at the sun. And they all just said the same thing. Why won't you look at the sun, Avery? It's beautiful, you should look at it. I've started getting weirder texts however. Here's the text. I got this from my family, only them, though. I think I might be in danger, but more importantly, I think that text is binary code, and I'm going to try to convert it. Now I'm really worried. The text said, "Look at the sun, Avery," in all capitals. The texts are coming again. Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? Look at the sun. Isn't it pretty? There were even more this time, but one of them seems different. I checked it. One of them was, it said, "Avery, don't look at the sun, it isn't pretty." I got that from River, my best friend since grade 1. She's typing again. "Avery, if you're still alive, please text me. I know you probably don't know what's going on, and neither do I, but I'm in contact with someone who does. If you're out there, please text me." That's what she just sent. I hope she is not lying. I'm going to text her back. I went searching through home videos. Something doesn't add up. Submitted by Anonymous Seeker 000. I barely ever get to visit my mom. She's a tiny old lady in a tiny house, hours away from me. Of course, she was excited to see me when I came down to visit. We spent most of the day sharing stories about our current lives and her constant teasing. I still haven't gotten married yet, and she likes to tease me about it. I brought up something I hadn't thought of before. "Hey Mom, do you still have the home videos on tape?" She looked up at me, taking a second to stop crocheting, and said, "Of course I do. They are in the attic if you want to go check it out." She gave me that sweet smile she always had. I thanked her and hurried up to the attic to find the home videos. My childhood had always been a blur to me. I forgot most of it now, stuck in the harsh reality of the world. So finally, I could take a little bit of time to appreciate my youth. I stumbled across a box of tapes with home videos written on it with a Sharpie. I packaged them in my suitcase for when I went home, so I could have more time to relive my childhood. After a couple days, I headed my way back to the place I call home. I rushed through the door, extremely excited to start watching the tapes. I had been anticipating this moment all week, and finally, I was able to chill and relax. I picked up the tape that was named 1999 to 2001. I was born in 1999, so this was the first tape of all. I loaded it up and sat back on my couch. It showed some small clips of me climbing up on baby toys and drooling all over my plastic action figures. This only lasted about 10 minutes, then something strange happened. It was me, but there was a little girl next to me a little younger. My mom was referring to her as my little sister. I found that strange, considering I was an only child. I brushed it off quite quickly, but then again, she was there. My little sister I never had. I took the tape out and put the next one in, hoping it was just some weird phenomenon that could be explained. 2002 to 2005 I pushed it in once again and sat back down to enjoy. It showed me as a tiny, fragile little boy. Me shoving cake into my face as a child make me burst out into laughter. Then once again, she was there. "Dylan, say hi to your sister." My mom pointed at her, and I waved. What the fuck? I thought out loud. I paused it and decided to keep watching. I wanted to know what was happening. I fast-forwarded a couple minutes and yet another strange appearance. A dog? I never had a dog. It could have been twisted memories, but I swear my dad was allergic to them. My dad wasn't ever super significant in my life, but he was there until I turned 18. I felt sick to my stomach. This had to be fake. Was this some stupid joke? But how would they get these videos and completely alter them? Once again, I put in another tape labeled 2005 to 2010. I bit my lip so hard it could have been bleeding. My fists tightened as I prepared myself for what was coming next. My little sister was now older, and her face was more developed and recognizable. I'd never seen her before, but she did look like me. How could I have gone so long without knowing I had a sister? And a dog? What was happening? My mind was spinning with conclusions and assumptions. I pressed play, and there were videos of me and my sister on a playground and even with the dog jumping into a lake with us swimming around. I almost vomited, sitting there or watching the childhood I didn't remember. I decided to put in the next tape. I grabbed the tape named 2011 to 2016. I tightened my grip on it, now getting all of my sweat on the tape. I forced myself to watch it. I wanted answers. It showed me and my sister doing arts and crafts, school stuff, etc. Then once I had turned 15, there was a video of me at my birthday. My sister was there, hugging me, and even giving me a slice of cake. She seemed very kind and loving. Eventually, at this party, it was time to take some pictures, and the person filming was from the side. It couldn't have been Dad because he was in the video. I guess he had someone else take it. This was when I realized my mom wasn't in the video. The dad in the video didn't look like mine that I know today. I gave in and eventually ran to the bathroom to vomit. I calmed myself down. I decided to call my best friend over, Blake, and have some company. He sat next to me, asked what was wrong, and I told him everything. He looked at me strange and said, "You don't remember your sister, Kate?" My heart dropped when I heard those words. What the hell was happening? Nothing made sense. I begged him for answers. He eventually started to get frightened by me and told me, "Okay man, I don't know what's gotten into you. You always had a sister, you always had a dog, what the fuck else do you want me to say? Do I need to bring you to a mental hospital?" He was getting frustrated with me, and now I only wanted to know the answer to one question. I looked up slowly and asked, "Where is my sister?" He gazed over to the wall and looked back at me. "She's been missing since 2016. What? How? Where?" So many questions filled my mind. "Oh also, Dylan." He looked at me with concern in his eyes. "Your mom has been dead since you were little." In shock, I passed out, and I assume he took me to the hospital. I woke up with the bright white walls of a hospital and the TV playing a cartoon show. After a few days, I returned home feeling weak and confused. I decided to play the last ape. 2017 to 2019. I held my breath and once again prepared for whatever would happen. It showed my school prom, graduation, etc. Then a video of me. This doesn't sound crazy or anything, but it was me visiting my mom at her house. I was so confused. Blake had said my mom was dead, but I had recently visited her? I was so confused. It was on camera, but who was filming it? It wasn't either of us. I sank into my couch, feeling exhausted and weak. Nothing adds up. I don't know what to do anymore. I did some research, and I think I may have entered a different reality. Like I had somehow switched. But that doesn't matter. I sit on the couch, holding my wife close to me. Her loving smile always made me feel warm.